So we then get some footage from the superpose down at the Royal Rumble between Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior when Rude attacks Warrior with his kind of steel exercise bar. This is ahead of the match between Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior. Rick Rude, before the match, does his pre-match bit, high-rolling Atlantic City sweat hogs, and takes off his robe, revealing he has the Intercontinental title printed on his tights. This is for the Intercontinental title.
Before we go into the actual match, before Matt gives us his thoughts, I just want to go back to the superpose line for a second, because the superpose line is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in a wrestling match.
Terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Wrestling, and it's so boring. And I can even remember back when I was a kid being like, "What is this? Why do I care about these two poses?" But my favourite bit about it, and you see it in the little clip of it, is that before Rick Rude hits Warrior with his like pump bar thing, Bobby Heenan sprays a load of oil in the Warrior's face, which the Warrior just like no sells entirely. It's so weird. He's just standing there going like doing his usual Warrior scream while Bobby Heenan's spraying all this baby oil in his face. It's so weird. It's honestly, Matt, I'd recommend you watch it just because it's so bizarre. Like why they thought it was a good idea. It's Vince's obsession with muscle guys in there and bodies. That's what it is. But it's just so weird.
So the match is, as I said, for the Intercontinental title. It's 9.5 minutes long. The Ultimate Warrior defending against Rick Rude, but Rude gets the victory and takes the title when, as Warrior goes for a suplex into the ring on Rude, Heenan gets Warrior's foot. Rude comes down on the Warrior, and then Heenan maintains his grip on Warrior's foot, and Rude gets the pin to win the title. After the match, Warrior gets his hands on Heenan and press slams him in a relatively famous spot where I understand Heenan hurt himself on the bump, and kind of is one of the reasons why Heenan disliked Warrior quite a lot during this run. Matt, what did you think of this match?
Unfortunately, this was my biggest letdown of the night. And I was actually had quite high expectations for this one. I don't know what it is in terms of, particularly when it comes to Rick Rude. I get the impression that he's really good. I could be wrong, but from what little bits that I've seen here and there, I'd like to think that he's very good. And I was expecting a bit more from him in this. I mean, so it was a little bit of a letdown. I will say the Intercontinental title being on his gear was bloody brilliant. I did laugh my head off of that. I thought that was quite genius. But yeah, I can't say that there was really that much to the match, which I was expecting more of. And the coolest thing in it was by far the pile driver that they did. And God, it's just it's one of those moves that just looks so damn devastating. And as long as they do it safely, it does look so brutal. And I wish they would do it more with the right people. As soon as I saw that, I thought, wow, that's excellent. And the finish, I thought, kind of let it down a little bit more as well. The finish felt a little bit weak to me. So I was quite disappointed. Like I said, I definitely had a little bit more higher hopes from the pair of them. So unfortunately, a bit of a thumbs down from me.
Well, I'm going to jump in here because this is my match of the night. just to completely contradict Matt. It's difficult. I mean, one of my talking points was actually the Ultimate Warrior and the fact that even though everyone thinks he's rubbish, and I also think he's rubbish, he is involved, in my opinion, in the first 6, 7, 8 years of WWE pay-per-views. He's involved in at least 3 or 4 of the best 10 to 20 matches. And this is one of them, I think. I think this is a really good match. I just think it's really decent. The pile driver is great. Rick Rude does a missile drop kick. I mean, Rick Rude's a big old guy, and he does a lovely looking missile drop kick in this one. I think the end's great. I think the finish is perfect. I think it's exactly what you want. Protects the Warrior, which is all they're going for here, to give Rick Rude a victory, which obviously Warrior will avenge at some point later in the year, ahead of his coming match with Hogan at WrestleMania 6. But I just think it's a lovely little match, really nicely done, good stuff, good moves, had a good build as well. Another one of the matches with an actual build to it. I really like it. I really like this match. It was the match that I most enjoyed during this show.
Reed, not only does he have the IC belt on his tights, but he's also got the Warrior on his bum, which is quite funny. And a picture of the Warrior where he quite frankly looks demented as well, which is excellent. Did you guys notice that there aren't enough tassels on the Warrior's boots for my liking in this match? Very peculiar. There's not many tassels at all. Rick Rude's amazing in this match. He sells for the Warrior beautifully. He makes the Warrior's offense look really, really good, which is funny because the Warrior's offense either looks completely unrealistic usually or incredibly clumsy and dangerous, to the point where he picks up Rude for a backbreaker and then looks like he's going to pick him up again and hit him with another backbreaker, but he loses his footing, stumbles across the ring, and they both nearly take a tumble at one point. point. Rude's goes to swivel his hips at one point and do his little thing, and he can't because he's in so much pain, which is just lovely as well. It's great. I'm somewhere in between you two. I think I wanted more, and I think their match at SummerSlam 90 in the cage is like the high point for these two. Certainly probably the best match of Warrior's career is it their match with for the WWF title in Survivor Series 90. No, SummerSlam 90. Sorry, I think it is.
Do you think that's better than both his match with Hogan and his match with Savage at WrestleMania?
Probably not as match with Savage, actually, to be fair. The match with Savage is great. The spectacle of the Hogan match, but I think in terms of the actual in-ring action, I don't know. It's a hard one. But I think I was expecting a little bit more from this match, but I still quite liked it, and I liked the ending. And further to your point again, Tinky, all about Bobby Heenan getting involved, and that drop that he takes, it's a massive drop, and it looks really awkward because he kind of lands on his side rather than his front. I think he's expecting to be dropped. Warrior drops him behind him, doesn't he? I think he's expecting to be gorilla pressed in your kind of traditional way where they bring them down and stand them in front of him, and he just drops him, and it looks quite nasty.
He's a bit of an enigma, the Warrior. Like he is sloppy, he isn't very good, he's obviously not very well trained, and has basically been fast tracked to the top. But as I said, the end result, in my opinion, during this sort of run, does yield a number of good matches that I actually think stand up. You, Matt, really like the SummerSlam 92 match between Savage and Warrior. So again, another one. Like you can name at least 4 or 5 matches that could genuinely hold up. It's certainly against the other stuff on the shows as well. This is why when you say about the roster, Tom, it's very easy to laugh because there is a real dearth of quality in general. So when you see a match that stands out, it really stands out.